Hey there, my friends. This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Excited for another conversation with another member of the legendary community this morning. As you guys can see, the great life after loss for those brave enough to rise. And I think you guys can get to know and see that a lot of being successful in entrepreneurship is similar to being successful in life. There's challenges that you need to that you don't need to, that you're sort of presented with, and then you get to decide how you want to handle them, right? So there's not a wrong way, there's not a right way, there's just your way. And today we get to hear about Amanda's way. So with that being said, I would like to welcome to the show Amanda Archibald. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Hey, thanks. It's
Hey,
an
you're so
honor.
welcome. Good to see you.
Bring it.
Nice, nice,
I'm so
nice.
excited.
Hey, awesome. I'm excited to have you. So tell us, why don't we jump right into this kind of idea or headline of that you came up with, the great life after loss for those brave enough to rise. Uh, Tell us your story, and also briefly in a nutshell, okay?
Yeah.
And tell us what that means to you.
Okay. So I've been through 15 years of personal development, and so I'm all about making changes that need to happen so that I can attract the quality of people that I want to attract instead of being in victim mode. And so I've been self-employed for over 20 years and with several different streams of income. And the whole time I know in the back of my head that I'm attracting right where I'm at. And so when I had a huge loss in 2018, I was I was I had to go back to my streams of income at home. And well, I didn't have to, I chose to. And so I knew I had to push hard, but I also had to heal at the same time. So, oh, it's an epic journey, honestly, and it's worth it if you do the work to do it.
Yeah. So, so you don't have to get into specifics, but the huge loss in 2018, was that personal related, relationship, business, finance? Just so we can
All
have a little bit more context.
Sure, it was all of it. Okay, so I went through personal development. I paid 20,000 bucks to go through all the classes. It rocked my world, but I'm such an entrepreneur that I said, I got to figure out how to make this money back. So I went through and I went right to the president. He's no longer here. And I said, I want to bring photography to your classes. And he's like, nah, there's no way. And I said, no, I'm doing it. I'll bring in 30,000 a class. And he's like, show me. Well, you don't say that to a controller personality or an entrepreneurial personality. So I built this whole thing. And by the end of it, I sold 100% of the room, and I was at $125,000 before I left for a full year. For a single mom, I was pretty excited about that. What I created during all of those courses, since I was in the classes so much, I built goals at the same time that the students were building them. And one of my goals was to acquire a ranch that I could work with at-risk youth. And it was a 7-year dream.
Mm.
And we finally acquired it in 2015. And I was at the height of my career as far as photography.
Mm.
And it was just like I was epicville, at the top. And I was able to create whatever I wanted to at this ranch. And it was a family deal with an investor. It wasn't my money, obviously. And everything was going awesome. But we were working 40 to 60 hours. I did lay aside all my businesses, right? I went
Mm.
right into this wedding event business,
I
full
got you.
on.
I
I
got
ended
you.
up being the sales rep for it and all that. But everything blew up in 2018. The
Mm.
investor went sideways. My stepdad died up there.
Mm.
And I was actually married to an alcoholic. So that's what attracted me to you, actually, Dave, because I have a heart for people to get out of the crap that they're in. Because if it comes down to it, if you can get to the point where you can admit that you're here today because of all your choices, then you can have the empowerment to say, okay, well, now I'm choosing this. So when I saw you and you told your story, I was like, cool, I'd love to be around a man that actually pulls his head out and creates what he was put on this earth to do. And that's my heart. But I end up being around a lot of people I like really created over my lifetime. Did not think I was going to be crying today. Over my lifetime, I've just risen from the bull crap circumstances that I've been in because I refuse to be that way. But you know, everything you judge ends up being a situation you got to be a hypocrite in. So I judged divorce harshly. And now I'm in this situation where I'm in this abusive relationship. And I'm like, holy crap, I was at the top. And then, of course, in comes the enemy, really. So, but I'm such a lover of people. So I really had to do the work this last 2 years. And that's how I found, so I've rebuilt from scratch my businesses because I didn't touch those businesses. I don't know. It's a long story. So that's the gist of it. The investor pulled the plug.
Well, thanks for sharing your heart and giving us context so we understand what you've lost, you know, because that gives us an understanding of what you've overcome, and it helps us to identify also what we've overcome too. Everybody who's watching and everybody who's listening and everybody who's going to listen helps hopefully you all to also realize and acknowledge everything that you've overcome as well, which is a lot, and should show each one of us how strong we are or can be, and that we really have persevered through so much. And clearly we're all here to work on our online businesses and so forth, which when you think about it, compared to some of the other things that we've persevered through, this is really a molehill, not a mountain, compared to some of the other things that we've done. Totally. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have frustrating days, but it's not like losing a marriage. It's not like it's not like being in an abusive relationship. It's not like losing, this dream, right? It's just maybe you can't get your funnel builder to connect with your autorespondent, right? So when we, so when we put these things into perspective, right? Yeah. And we kind of put the magnifying glass down, because sometimes we hold the magnifying glass up to these little things and they look really big, but when we step back and see everything that we've persevered through, it really, my hope is that it reminds each one of you that you are way more powerful and stronger than sometimes you may give yourself credit for. So thanks for sharing your heart. What's coming up for you now?
Well, you can feel it. I'm like, exactly what you said. But the thing that you got to realize is when you can't figure out the funnel and then you get the red thing going on every time you try and save your funnel, saving the funnel, what it's triggering in you is your unresolved pain. It's triggering all the crap that is in your head that you have not resolved about yourself. The stuff that was said to you about your ex, that you were stupid, you couldn't do it, you were worthless, all that stuff comes up for you. And so I want people to understand that it's not about the funnel. It's not about the funnel. It's about the unresolved pain.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep digging in. It's personal development, hands down. You have to keep doing it. There's
Yeah.
so much that can trigger you in life. And to be a self employed person, you have to do the work, or else
Mm.
you're just going to be at the top, maybe, but you will have no friends.
That's a great analogy. It's a great idea. I don't know if it's an analogy or whatever. It's if that's the right word to describe it, but it's an absolutely true statement. I was going through marriage counseling, and my wife and I we still go to couples counseling and stuff, just because we love to do personal development. I mean, we love to
Yeah.
grow and challenge each other and continue to work through ourselves and just have a constant accountability check in, as many as we can. But there was something that a counselor said many years ago, something about it's not about the coffee. And it was about this story where this guy would wake up, or this wife would wake up and be all mad about the coffee or something, but it wasn't actually about the coffee. It's never about the coffee. It's about what's going on that's not being said, right? That's not being addressed. And when we don't address those issues, or we aren't even aware of them, that negative self-talk that you're talking about, that is not actually my voice, right? It's the ex's voice. It's my dad's voice,
Yeah.
right? That voice, that critical parent or that abusive ex, that voice, because we heard that being spoken to us for so long, that became the story. That became the soundtrack inside of our heads. And now you're right. When we go to set something up, do something new, start a business, everything we do, there's going to be a challenge with it. Parenting, business, it doesn't matter. You're always going to run into challenges. And if you're aware, that same soundtrack will pop up no matter what you're doing. It's a pattern. It's not just in business. It's not just, and so many of us like to blame it on the external thing. Oh, it's a scam, or oh, this, or nobody succeeds with that. No, it's really just that you have a pattern that no matter what you do, when a challenge comes up, there's a soundtrack that starts to play. And maybe it's I'm a piece of shit and I can't do it, or maybe it's this is hard but I can do it. I can get through this. My wife has a screenshot right on her phone that said, if this feels hard, it's because it is hard and you can get through it. Right.
Yeah.
It's, that's an empowering soundtrack. If this feels hard, it's because it is hard and you can do it. So when we say personal development, I'm glad you also gave us that context, because personal development, some people think it's just sharing memes on Facebook. It's just kind of being positive. It's people pleasing even. It's just, always trying to have a good attitude, but never, to me, that's just as unhealthy. Always trying to be positive, right? Instead of acknowledging, I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm angry, right? That's more stuffing feelings,
Yeah.
right? So personal development is a confusing thing to a lot of people. So I think, I don't know. I mean, some people think going to a seminar and jumping up and down and, for a weekend is I'm cured now. I'm personally developed, right? But my experience is it's an ongoing everyday thing, to where I need to constantly be questioning, why did I do that? Why am I reacting like that? And I need people that are safe and healthy to help to guide me through this difficult journey called life. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So the saying of your like the 5 people you hang around, that includes social media. Like if you're hanging around some nasty Karens on your stuff, even if they're not even like your friends, but they're nasty and they're commenting on your TikToks and you're a scam artist and all this stuff. Personal development to me is you're completely grounded in yourself before you even get on social media, because the haters are legit.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of comedy and wit in me, but it can turn into like biting sarcasm if I'm not grounded. So again, if I'm going to be triggered by Karen, Karen that thinks I'm a con artist. Well, do you see why that's a trigger for me to be called a con artist when I was conned by the best of the best? It's
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
oh, hell no. Did you just call me blah, blah, blah?
Right.
So, personal development, yes, you can go through the seminars. I highly suggest doing ones where it's experiential learning. They put you in a situation where you see where you're at the core, like who you are at the core. I used to call this one class finding out you're an a-hole, because all these people would show up like getting ready to jam and they find out, oh my gosh, I'm a complete a-hole. I have a horrible marriage. I don't have relationship with my kids. And they came for business. And it's like, no, you're that boss too. Like, we can't stand you as a boss either. So like the feedback is priceless because you're getting feedback from complete strangers, and people can see who you are in 7 seconds just by experiencing who you are. And it's crazy. They have 17 judgments of you just watching you for 7
Mm.
seconds. So personal development to me is reading books. I'm a Christian, so getting grounded in who created me and why I'm on this earth. Not my victim story, not PMSville, not I'm going to be offended by everyone. Cuz whatever you're looking for is looking for you. So if I want to be offended girl today, I am going to find the most annoying, offensive people. So I that's personal development to me. I dig into books. I get on and watch Tony Robbins, and he likes to kick some butt. He's a
Yeah.
legit person. But the thing I would have to say is, since I'm a pastor's kid, so like I
Mm.
grew up with craziness. Like he wasn't a good example.
Isn't
And
that interesting? I hear that story a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, well, for me it's like who should you take out? Like if you're the enemy, who would you want to take out? You want to take out the top guy, right? You want to ruin a whole church.
Hmm.
You don't want to just take out the mediocre guy over here who does nothing for the world. So I've grown up with that, and I've risen out of these things over and over and recreated myself because I've looked at man, human, and just said, okay, well, we're all pretty screwed up here. I'm not
Yeah.
going to judge that because I end up getting to be a hypocrite when I judge. So
Sure.
um,
Wow.
that's kind of,
That's a powerful perspective that I get to be a hypocrite when I judge. What do you can you say more about that? What exactly do you mean by that? Because I think that's just an interesting way to think about being judgmental.
so everything you see in someone else is qualities you hate in yourself usually.
Other things that you dislike in others, you mean, are
Yeah.
qualities that you dislike in yourself? Is so if I'm judging somebody, it's because if I spot it, I got it. Is that what you mean by
Yeah,
that?
you can only spot what you possess, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I've heard of that before. In the if you spot it, you got it. It's a 12-step recovery thing.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So I get that. So if I'm judging you, saying, "Oh, you're arrogant," it's probably because I'm arrogant, right? And
yeah.
I don't and I may know that about myself, and I don't really like that deep down inside, that quality about me. I wish that I was more humble, or wish that I was more secure with myself, so I didn't have to be so arrogant. So if I'm saying, "Oh, he's an arrogant asshole," it's probably because I'm arrogant, right? Is that kind of how that
Yeah.
natural law works?
Yeah, in some ways, for sure.
Hmm.
And so if a Karen comes at me, when I'm grounded, I'm like, you don't love yourself, do you, Karen? I mean, it's like, I
This
really don't think
Karen
this is
thing is out
about
of
me,
control,
Karen.
dude. This
Karen, you
Karen
need to
thing,
hide.
Matt, this Karen thing is hilarious, dude.
It's aggressive.
It's passive aggressive is what it is.
Aggressive. Oh my gosh, dude. People are like, yo,
it's legit.
it's so aggressive. It's so passive aggressive. It's just everything. It's everything to hear you call chicks Karens. For whatever reason, it's just making my morning a little bit more legendary.
But yeah, if you were doing the work, I could say, why is Dave triggering me? Well, I've done enough work to be like, oh, he's triggering me because he's an addict that's making it, and my husband decided to not do that. That's why you're triggering me. But that has literally nothing to do with you, right? So then you press through. Why is it triggering me that I can't get my frickin' funnel connected? You know, oh, because I feel stupid and I've literally done none of this. I have a card that says, I'm learning how to market. Like, give yourself a frickin' break. I just started this in November. You know, this is a skill set I knew nothing about. That's scary.
Yeah, it's interesting because I still deal with, you know, these critics, whatever you want to call them, who are, you know, totally, you know, sometimes they sneak into our groups or whatever. They buy the challenge and then they start trying to tell everybody what's in the blueprints and what's in the rest of our curriculum, and oh, you can find that for free on YouTube or what. I mean, just throwing just saying dumb stuff, projecting their, you know, either insecurity or dislike of self or disappointment in self, projecting that onto us, projecting that onto me, projecting that onto our community. And it's like, oh God, like I say that same thing. And I try to be, you know, particularly as a, you know, I don't really bite my tongue a lot, but I don't really you know, I don't want to try to hurt somebody, but I do think that it's like, who hurt you, man? Like, why? Like, it's so sad that you don't see yourself, and in that perspective, guys. And I think this live could also be how to deal with your inner critic and outer critics, right? How to deal with your inner hater and your outer haters, right? Because for me, before I had any awareness about myself and my inner hurts and hang-ups, before I had really looked at my childhood and how my relationship with my father and mother affected me and my first relationship, and, you know, various things that were very impactful and shaped me as an adult. Before I started digging into that stuff, obviously through recovery, right? That stuff led me to using drugs and becoming an addict, right? That's why I talk about my story, right? That's where that led me. So I had to do work, not just to build a business, but to save my life. And then building a business and wanting to grow more attracted me to go deeper and further to peel back the layers of the onion. And I really realized that when I learned a lot about myself. And so I began to recognize the hurt in other people as well. And so what it did for me was it allowed me to lower the temperature on some of these comments that people make, because I realized they're not about me. They're about that person. And honestly, they make that person look stupid when they're projecting and spewing their inner trauma all over the internet. Because that's all haters do, is they are spewing their inner childhood hurt, their physical abuse, sexual abuse, critical parenting, all the things that they've swept under the rug, their disappointment in self. And now all of a sudden here they're on TikTok and they see you and you do something that triggers them. Like you said, Amanda, maybe it's your personality reminds them of their father. Maybe it's that you're clearly succeeding and doing something with your life, or maybe not even succeeding, but trying. And that reminds them of how many times they've given up. So it shifted the way that I looked at haters and critics, at not as taking that all on as that's true about me, but instead actually feeling sorry for people, having compassion and sympathy for people for the hurt they must be in. That in such a, not to put people down, but in a pathetic state, that the best thing that they can do with their time and energy in that moment is try to tear somebody else down. That's a sad ass state. And so instead of taking that all on, guys, I just look at them and I say, God, sometimes I'll say something, but I won't take it on. Yeah. And Amanda, I think this is one of the most valuable lessons we all can learn. I'm thankful that you've brought it up. What's coming up for you as I'm saying, kind of, telling you about my journey with this?
Okay, so what's coming up for me is the most important piece of why it bugs you. And it's because if you're not grounded in who you are, and that you signed up for Legendary, and that you're going for the gold, then every comment that is said to you speaks to your inner critic. Every single comment. And so if you're not grounded, then you're like, oh yeah, is this a scam? I mean, we've all gone through it. All of us are so afraid and fearful of losing again. Believe me, I do not want to run down one more damn tube with no cheese in it. Like, I can't afford to. And then that puts me in scarcity, right? And so when I'm in scarcity and fear, the inner critic has a heyday with me, and so does the comment. I'm going to go out and attract these comments that this is a scam because my funnel's not working. And believe me, Matt has gotten many messages. I'm like, I don't know if it's connected. It's like, when money, let's face it, money is the root of most problems, or the lack of it. If you really think about it, all like the things that were lost for me were around money, or not enough of it. And as a single mom, it's like, I'm raising of course I got 2 teen boys, right? I've had this whole track record of working with men that have failed me in a lot of ways, but I don't want to label men that way. There's a lot of amazing men out there, but now I get to raise these 2 men, to actually be providers for their house instead of mooching off a woman. Is my story. I'm not putting it out there for everyone to come Karen me today, but so the inner critic is really, really important to look at, because it's your inner critic, and they're triggering you. You're allowing them to trigger you. Yeah. It's an hourly choice. I mean, so personal development I agree. Is an hourly choice. Hourly.
And it's what I think was really stuck out to me from something that you just said was that, whatever I think about, I attract, right? So if I'm in scarcity, like I'm desperate, I'm in that desperation mode, I'm in that scarcity mode, I'm in that fear-filled mode, then I am going to attract all the things that I'm afraid of.
That's right. So you can be right.
So exactly. So you can prove that you're right. So you can prove I knew it. I knew it. Because we love to be right. Yeah, we love to be right. Right. So it's like, I'm going to, somebody's going to laugh at me. Somebody's going to tell me I'm a con artist scammer. Somebody's going to whatever. I'm afraid of friends and family calling me out and telling me to get a real job, whatever it is. Right. All that's when that is top of mind, when that is something that you're fearful of, and it moves you into scarcity and fear-filled thinking and action, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
And self-fulfilling prophecies are one of the most real things that I believe in to my core, right? I've seen it happen in friends and family. I've seen it happen in my own life. And I've seen it from both sides. I've seen self-fulfilling prophecies that were negative and ended badly because I was afraid that something would happen. And what I've really seen, which has been amazing, and I think I attribute much of my, I guess success or whatever too, is attracting good things, positive outcomes, because I'm thinking and believing that quality good things are going to happen. Just believing. And if we do that enough, I've got this saying that we act ourselves into a new way of thinking, because not only what I say and what I do matters most. That's what matters most, not what I think, because you can't control your brain. Your brain has tens of thousands of thoughts per day. Like, I'm literally telling everybody right now the most simple, practical way to rewire yourself for success. You cannot think yourself into it. You can't change your thinking. Your thinking it's hardwired. There's neural pathways, and all your behavior and words have created your thinking. The way to change our thinking is to change how we talk verbally, to talk a lot, and to change how we talk about ourselves. I jumped on somebody in a Facebook group the other day. Because they started their question out with, "I'm struggling." And the more we say, "I'm struggling, I'm struggling, I'm struggling," the more that's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And your mind is going to begin to believe that it needs to struggle every time something comes up. It needs to just struggle all the time. It's the same reason why I jump on people for saying I'm a newbie. Stop saying you're a newbie, because as long as you say you're a newbie, you're going to act like a newbie. You're going to talk like a newbie. You're going to show up like a newbie. So change the way that you talk about yourself. That's the first thing. Second thing is change what you do. Thoughts and words follow actions, right? Words and actions work hand in hand, but thoughts follow both of them. So, for example, I used to not believe I could get clean from heroin. I didn't believe I could. I was convinced I need it. I need it to be able to feel well, because I was dope sick when I didn't have it, right? So what happened was, I told somebody in a 12-step meeting, I said, I can't get clean, man. I can't do it. I keep using. I can't get clean. So there was my mistake. I can't do something. I'm telling myself that I can't do it. Well, he said, show up anyways. Do it anyways.
Do it anyways.
Act yourself into a new way of thinking. So what I do, I didn't get high, and I went to a meeting once or twice a day, right? I had a guy who it was a friend, and I had just gotten paid. My dad, I was sleeping on his couch, and I had like a couple of $100, and I called him up and I said, I got money in my pocket. I got to come over and give it to you so you can hold it. And he said, come over to my house. So I went over, and he said, you're going to keep that money right there in your pocket. You're going to let it burn a hole in your pocket, and you're going to tell yourself that you can be responsible for it, right? That you not I can't handle this. I have money. I'm going to spend it. I'm going to go blow it on drugs, right? So that was where the development of me really realizing that my words and actions were more important than my thoughts and even in my beliefs. Because even if I have a fucked up belief pattern or a limiting belief that I've developed sometime in my life, if I speak what I want into existence, and then I do the opposite, the thing that I need to do, that I want to do, then eventually my beliefs will shift. So that's why I think that this whole, sometimes sitting down, setting goals, thinking about trying to find myself, it's a waste of time, because we can't change this. Not by thinking about it. The only way that we rewire, and this is not just philosophy, this is neuroscience. The way that we rewire our thinking is by our words, what I say to you. And it's really important what I say to you, not just my self-talk, how I talk about me to you. And if you guys monitor your how you talk about you, you will see that honestly, if somebody talked about you the same way that you talk about yourself, you'd probably cuss them out. You'd probably say, don't talk about my friend like that. Or if they talked about a friend the way that you talk about yourself. So I got to be real. One of the most practical ways that I can begin to change my whole dynamic, my whole paradigm, my whole, as Bob Proctor calls it, a paradigm, right? The way I change that is the first thing I pay attention to how I talk about me to you. It's so easy to monitor just that. That's a practical place to start. And then what I do is I start to monitor my self-talk to me, right? Because that's a little bit harder. It's a little bit more insidious, right? Then in conjunction with that, I start to surrender to the fact that I can act myself into a new way of thinking, but I can't think myself into a new way of acting. So I can't just sit around, as Tony Robbins will say, and say, there's no weeds in my yard. There's no weeds in my yard. He says that at every seminar. And it's true. What he's saying is that I can't just sit around and law of attract. I can't just think, right? Thinking's powerful. I can create self-fulfilling prophecies, but I can't change my DNA. I can't rewire my brain just with thinking about something. I have to act. And when I act, even if it goes against what I believe I can do, such as the heroin story, when I didn't believe I could stop, but if I just didn't use and I went to meetings, guess what? Now I've got more than 10 years clean off of that. And it's not just me. I'm not just the only success story, right? There's hundreds of thousands of people that I know. I go to conventions, I've seen them, and they all follow that same philosophy. So I'm ranting a bit here, Amanda. I want to give you the
exciting stuff. Like, that's why I've been in personal development, because I care so much about people's souls, you know? Like, you're on this earth for a freaking reason.
Yeah. Well, and also, Amanda, there's a big thing in believing that you deserve a good life and you deserve a certain quality of life. You know, for me, I was sort of at a certain point tired of the constant shame spirals that I would go into, because once again, I've you know, the sort of the cauldron has bubbled up, right? The shit that's inside that I've not addressed is once again coming out. And that can be very toxic and painful, right? So I think there's also, even if you're not doing this for others, the first person that we all can begin to, you know, explore these areas for is ourselves. Why? Because we actually deserve to be happy and to be peaceful. And if nobody else is around us, right, we could be living in families or a part of families, not particularly living in the same home, but be a part of families that the entire family is toxic, but you're sane and peaceful. And you can then go on and choose the people that you want to be around. And that's a lot of people's stories. I want to transition, if you don't mind. There's some people that are asking about a couple of your TikTok channels, and you know, you had shared the links. Do you mind if I share? I'm interested in the spiritual one or the health one.
Oh Lord. So my TikTok journey has been the biggest comparison cesspool of BS in my lifetime. So yes, let's share about my TikTok.
Yeah, so I'm mainly interested in this health one. This is really interesting to me.
The Fupa Whisperer.
The Fupa Whisperer. I mean, like, what is this channel about? Like, how did you come up with the idea? I think it's hilarious. I also think it's just different, and I'm just interested in it. Can you just talk a little bit about it?
Sure. So I played around with TikTok for about 6 months and got nowhere. Like, and I'm a businesswoman. So if I'm going to spend that much time on TikTok, I did a lot of comedy, because that's how I got through COVID. You know, that's how I had my relationships. Wow. And just my creativity was coming out, and that was really important to me. And of course, I found the hashtag narc talk, which is narcissism, and it like completely changed me inside out to understand like what I just went through. But then it was like, okay, I'm done with this. I've completed this. I've released that. I've forgiven that. I'm moving on. But I'm a businesswoman. Like, I cannot be on TikTok this long By the way, I've hidden probably 600 videos on that channel. And
Wow.
I just said, okay, I've met all these friends, but they're not my clients. So I had to get really clear who my client was again. And I really bucked the system as far as I needed to niche down. I even hate that word because I just want to say niche down, but I finally did. And I said, well, I can't lose my humor. I have to have comedy. And I've done gut health and health in general for 15 years with MLMs. So I'm like, well, I have to keep it funny. I'm talking about people's bowel movements all day, basically.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, I got to think of a crazy ass name that Karens will not be attracted to because you're not my client. I don't want to attract negative people complaining and not using my product. And yes, it's not going to work for you. So if you can or can't, you're right. So Karen, you can't put my product in your body. That's literally how I feel. So I came up with the Fupa Whisperer. And I mean, I've even had Christians come at me and be like, that is such a foul name. Like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, yep, God gave me a sense of humor, woman. So, and it has been so much fun. And I just
There's so many people who are Googling Fupa right now.
Do not Wikipedia it.
I have to. I'm so sorry. I have to. I can't stop. Fupa Urban Dictionary. That's the first one. Fat upper pubic area. It's also where's the one though? Fat upper pussy area. There it is. Come on now. Whoop, there it is. Oh God.
Okay.
You're a trip.
All right, so that's all about your gut and your fat pack.
God. So, and you take people, you've got a call to action that goes to a landing page here. So I love that.
Which I did not have built until I met you guys. Like, I had no clue that I was missing out on 50 to 100 people a week signed into that thing.
Oh my God.
Like my whole, so like I have an MLM, you guys. And the first sentence that came out of your mouth in your training was, have you done the numbers? Do you know how much product you got to sell to make the amount of money you want to make? And I'm like, holy crap, Dave.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna give you some feedback. Are you open to some feedback?
Yes. Awesome.
So there's too many choices on this bridge page.
Okay.
There's too many.
Okay.
You need to have what is the thing that you want to be on the front of your kind of funnel, if you will? Probably
like the gut collection for sure.
Okay, so I want you to look at this image right here. So this is a perfect image of, since we are talking about TikTok and you're on TikTok, that, you're taking people to a landing page, which is where you're collecting their email so you can follow up with them. You said 50 to 100 people a week. And then they come to your bridge page, right? And that's the page that we were just on that has all your different, 10 choices or whatever there. And I call this a first helping. Okay. I call this a first helping. All right. So whatever that is, if it's an affiliate product or maybe it's in your case, maybe it's getting people to book an appointment to speak with you on Zoom or something, whatever it is, however you're going to sell that. Maybe it's just sending them on to buy it. That's fine too. But on that bridge page, you only want to have one thing for them to do. And then all those other things that you also have on that page, you can hit those in second helping, third helping, fourth helping, fifth helping, sixth helping. Now, this is how to actually.
My emails?
Yes.
Like the emails would cover? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So So maybe you have, now I've got 6 emails here, mainly just for aesthetic purposes for this image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can be one email that goes and sends them back to this first helping to just say, hey, are you sure you want to pass this up? Because, here's
Okay.
5 reasons why you might want to take advantage of this today. Or maybe there's another email that says, hey, if you take advantage of this in the next 24 hours, I'll also give you this bonus, right? Even though it's an automated series, just, it's all you got to say is, hey, just email me as soon as you buy with your receipt and I'll send over this bonus, right? So you can also do urgency and scarcity in a follow-up series, right?
Okay.
But my point is that you have your emails, everything always and only has one singular clear call to action.
Okay.
Not multiples, because I'm going to tell you something. When somebody comes to a page like that, it's too much. It's too much.
Well, that's a great point, and thank you for the feedback, because I'm like, where do I put these links if I'm not doing Facebook ads and the keto blah 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 blah.
Right.
It's true. So then I'm like, oh, I need to put them on my landing page, but I don't want it like that either. Like, I wouldn't sign up for all that.
So
but
what I would do if I was you, okay, just to kind of cut to the chase, what I would probably do is I would record a video with your story and one thing that you're talking about, right? Something that you're willing to give away for free or do for free for people. Maybe that's maybe it's what did you say the number one thing that you were selling here that you would probably sell first was?
Just gut health, because that's what creates a FUPA.
Well, God, you're incredible.
Impacted bowels, Dave. Impacted bowels.
No, my bowels they get a lot of attention. Trust me. They are very important to me. As a matter of fact, I just emptied them earlier this morning and it was glorious. But so when you say gut health, what is the specific thing that you're selling? What is it? What is it on here? Is it this?
It takes you right into Modere, which is the company I'm with.
Okay, so are you looking to sell these products or get people on your team as team members?
Well, Dave, based on results, I'm not building a team based on results. So I want them to purchase the products and have success in their bowels.
Okay, so and that's $119 purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
I know what you're gonna say. Find a $7 one.
No, not at all. No, not at all. So let's go back to your landing page and let's look at that. So what are you actually offering on here? You 15 years in the health industry and ready to support you. Links to the Fupa Whisperers faves. Sign up for gut health emails. Also enter info for $10 off your first order. First order of what? I don't know what I'm even would potentially be buying. This sounds too salesy. Like 15 years in the health, it kind of sounds like ready to support you, like ready to sell you a car, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's ready to sell you a supplement. Like you don't want to you don't want to sound like that. Links to the Fupa's Whispers. So here's what I would do. Okay, what I would do is I would figure out what can I give somebody as bait to get them to opt in, and then what can I deliver for free. So for example, back when I was selling when I was doing exclusive coaching and I was selling a coaching program, right? What I would do was I would say book an appointment, and on the call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out if you want to do coaching as well, right? So I was doing coaching, teaching people to coach, right? So what I want to do is I want to give you my coaching funnel. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to map it out for you and personalize it on the call. And then if you want me to help you set it up, then we can talk about my program to help you do that. And if not, you can take the entire funnel blueprint to set up your own coaching program, and you can go and implement it on your own.
Okay.
You're rustling around a lot there. Are you? Is that something? Are you
I'm
touching
sitting
something?
still. No.
Okay, maybe it's something on my side. Let me mute you real quick and see if that changes, and then I'll unmute you here in a second. So that's what that's what it looked like. Okay, that's what the offer looked like. Was basically, and I may be able to find the actual examples of that here fairly quickly. No, I'm not gonna waste time trying to find those examples because I don't know where they're at. It'd take me too much time to find them. But here's what I would do. Okay, let me pull out a Google Doc and write some copy for you. So what is something I'm unmuting you. What is something that you kind of get the gist, right? What you're offering them is something that would be valuable to them, whether they bought anything from you or not, right? So what is something that would be valuable based on the content that you produce on your channel? And then if you brought them to this landing page, you can give it away. It's sort of like bait it's irresistible to them, that you could do for them. And it would be valuable to them. Is there anything that's coming up for you immediately?
Probably I could come up with some kind of PDF that talks about why you want to put these, like how to get your gut healthy, period, and why you would want to.
Well, is it going to get rid of your fupa?
It can help, yeah.
Okay.
Help.
It's funny to hear me say fupa. Okay, so I'm just trying to come up with the copy here that a PDF or something like that would
That's
make
the
sense
thing,
for
though,
work.
Dave. It's like the fact that I set this funnel up for this business and it's capturing these names. I mean, I've written some really fantastic emails. I've probably written 40 now for this funnel that have links. So I'm excited that you said that, because I have links to all those links. So I don't need to have them on the page. But the real thing is like Legendary has already replaced that income, right? So I don't want to leave this income because I've spent so much time on it, and I love helping people.
You shouldn't leave this income.
Okay.
Get rid. Not get rid. That's negative that's negative body image.
Yeah, don't do that. The Karens will come out.
Okay, well, I mean, are you not afraid? Are you like get rid of the fupa while making the toilet your friend again. Okay, so watch where I'm going with this. Okay, what I'm doing right now is I'm
bring humor back into the
exactly. So get rid of the fupa while making the toilet your friend again. Learn.
My favorite saying is it's white sheet approved.
It's white sheet approved. Oh, okay. Dude, I got a funny poop story. I didn't put my son's diaper on the right way this morning. And my wife was sitting on the couch and she looked down at his sock, his white sock, and there was poop on it. And she's like, did you change his, did he get poop on, sometimes he puts his foot in the diaper when we're changing it. And so she was like, did he put his foot in the diaper? And then she looks down and there's poop all over her lap
Oh
because
my God.
I didn't put the diaper on, and he
Yeah.
blew his back out pure liquid, and it was on her lap. It was on her sweatpants.
Yeah.
And so I
Every
had to come over, and we had a moment of carrying him over. He's humiliated. Now he's only 3 months, but you can see it in his face. And I'm holding him over the sink, and she took off her pants. So now she's pantsless. Now she gets the sink. She's hosing him down in the sink. I'm holding him screaming, and he's looking humiliated. And finally, we got him cleaned up, and I made sure that I put the diaper on the right way. But it was a moment. It was a poop crisis like never before in our
it
family with Sam.
starts young. It starts young.
Okay, so find out the 10 things you can do today to decrease the belly, decrease the fupa, and have
Energy and good moods.
hold on, get rid of the fupa while making the toilet your friend again. This is like a totally new niche. I've never written copy in it before, so this is an interesting one. Find out. Hold on. Here's 10 things you should know before you try any type of weight loss program or weight loss program
Ooh, that's
or
good.
take another supplement for periods, cramps. This is not really about PMS, right?
No.
Take another supplement for gut health. There's 10 things you should know before you try any type of weight loss program or take another supplement for gut health. There's or take another supplement for gut health. See, these are kind of two different things, and I wanna hit on. I feel like kind of putting them together might make the messaging a little bit confusing, right? So losing weight and taking and gut health. I feel like losing weight is more important, but is more important to most people. But what do you talk about a lot on the channel? Do you talk about losing weight?
No, I talk about your gut's your second brain, basically. Until your gut's working pristinely, then nothing is going to shift off. And I'm taking notes, but it's so teeny.
Well, I'm going to give you all this, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Is like did you know your gut is like your second brain, and you'll likely not lose the fupa or have great poops. No. Did you know that your gut is like your second brain, and you'll not likely lose the fupa
or release weight.
Or have the energy? What were you going to say?
Or release weight in general.
Oh, wow.
It's big time.
Until your gut is what? Until your what? Give me the language.
Until your gut health, or until your whole intestinal tract is overhauled, basically.
That's too techy. That's too.
Yeah.
See, you gotta take your technical jargon and make it so easy and simple for somebody to understand that they don't have to know even remotely close to what you know to get it.
Okay. Say the sentence again.
Did you know your gut health is like your second brain, and you'll likely not lose the fupa or release weight in general until
You have a person like until your gut is in pristine condition or in good condition or is working properly or is functioning properly.
Okay. Okay. So get rid of the fupa. Get rid of the fupa and finally feel like yourself again.
Yep.
So that's a little bit more kind of generic, and it still allows you to have the fupa thing there, because that's kind of part of the brand, right?
Yeah.
That's what the channel's called. Get rid of the fupa and finally feel like yourself again. All right, so let me move this stuff down.
This is gold, Dave. I mean,
yeah.
So this is brand new for me to understand like where I'm missing, because I'm not converting a ton of sales, but I'm converting sales.
Well, you're getting people to opt in 50 to 100 into that page that's not even promising them anything. And so it's absolutely fantastic that you've taken action and that you've done that. But if you actually promise that, if you actually give them something, then you're going to increase the opt-ins, and you're actually going to have more of a chance to be able to sell them something. So did you know that your gut, so I'm still on this copy piece because I want to try to nail this. I want to try to nail this free giveaway. Okay. So did you know your gut is like your second brain, and you'll likely not lose weight or not lose the fupa or release weight in general until it's functioning properly. Get my blank, right? Get my whatever it is, top 10. Hold on. Let me do, there's 10 things you need to know
to get you moving
towards weight loss.
I'd put literally in parentheses, get you moving literally.
To get you 10 things you need to know to get you moving, right? Literally. Inside my brand new ebook, you'll discover.
Awesome.
Okay, right? So and then it's like bullet point, right? One, bullet one, bullet two, bullet three. Okay. And what's powerful about, and I want to go over here and I want to show you just a really kind of basic example of what I'm talking about, right? So obviously on the next page, this is our landing page that we sell our challenge with, right? So I'm not telling anybody we're going to sell them anything. There's basically 3 things that you can give away on a landing page. There's a free training, a free gift, or a free training and a free gift. Okay. Those are basically the 3 things that you should or can give away on a landing page. And on this particular landing page, I'm giving away a free training, right? So a very generic kind of wide net headline that is very curiosity driven. for anyone who wants to start a profitable business but doesn't know where to begin. And then kind of a more specific, you get more specific in the sub headline. Discover how I started an online business and earned high ticket commissions, marketing valuable products people already want to buy. You're getting access to, right? And then bullets. That, like, what do you mean I'm getting access to? I don't understand it. It doesn't make, like, I want all this stuff. Okay, get instant access, right?
Yeah.
So the point of a landing page is that there's enough benefit and curiosity here that somebody's going to enter their info to get access or to download or to have it sent to them, right? So you don't need to duplicate this exactly, but this is the sort of example that I'm, this is exactly what I'm doing with your landing page copy right now. This is kind of how it might look, right, on a page.
That sentence of not knowing where to begin is something people say to me all the time.
Not knowing where to begin, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean that could be for anyone who wants to lose the fupa and
see why I picked that name? I go on lives and people are like, the fupa whisperer's here. It's pretty stellar branding, in my opinion. It only took 8 months to figure out.
For anyone who wants to, I like the release weight, man. That is so, wants to release weight.
That's huge because you don't want to lose weight because you don't want to lose it. You want to release it forever.
For sure.
That's all languaging too.
Lose weight without crash diets, miserable exercise,
drinking weird potions,
or drinking weird potions, or taking weird potions and pills, right? I really like that. I think the release weight thing is like the key here, right? And I think that can become more of the conversation because I also think that part of what you can offer to people personally is an element of personal development, because I really do think that weight for a lot of us, I mean, I'm counting calories and exercising and stuff right now myself, but for a lot of us, weight is a mental thing, and it's something that it's emotional, right? Yeah.
There's so much. It's just like being a heroin addict. It's the same thing. It's what you're using to void fill to get rid of the pain.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I almost helping people.
I almost feel like that is like, I almost feel like your ultimate angle, if you want to sell more of this particular product, is to package it within a sort of challenge or sort of program that you don't even have to particularly charge for, but it includes, if they want to do the program, it includes them buying the product. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For anyone who wants to release weight without crash diets, miserable exercise, or taking weird potions and pills. In my brand, take my free challenge and discover how to regain your inner and outer beauty without taking endless selfies on social media, starving yourself, or blank benefit. Okay. But here's God, the juices are flowing here, because that's what I think the real key to selling this
Okay.
is developing a program that um, that you buy the product within the program, right? You buy the product because you're doing the program. It's sort of like this guy Andy um, I forget his name. Andy Frisella made this program called 75 Hard. And what 75 Hard is basically a um, it's basically a challenge where for 75 days you have you work out the daily rules. Take a progress pick, 1 gallon of water, 10 pages of reading, follow a diet, 2 45-minute workouts. One workout must be outdoors. Start on day one if you fail, no alcohol or cheat meals, right? So it's this simple little document kind of challenge, right? And once you go through this 75 hard, he's got a supplement company. So you're going to start getting emails from him about his proteins and his supplements and his various things, right? Because you're taking his challenge.
Yeah.
Right? So
and you would expect that.
Huh?
For sure. You would expect that if you're going through his challenge.
Well, and you also feel indebted to him because you're doing his thing. He gave it to you for free, and it's like, if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy it through him. He's also got a podcast, so you're going to start listening. People listen to his podcast and stuff like that, and then they buy supplements through his company, right? So that's kind of the idea here. So take my free blank blank blank, whatever it is, right? Take my free 10-day. You don't have to call it a challenge, but it's something, and achieve, whatever it is. Like, I don't want to come. I don't want to come. I'd have to do more asking about.
I can come up with it.
Yeah. So take my free 10-day and achieve blank, blank, blank without doing the things you hate, right? I don't even know that I would. You might say a little bit about gut health on this page. I'm happy to review it for you. But I think that there's a couple of things that are super key here. The releasing weight. I think that's a big deal. I think that language, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I may be wrong. I'm not a woman, and this is not a niche of mine. But there's two things I'm sure about. Is that if you sound like everybody else, people are gonna be like, I've seen this before, and I'm not interested. So it has to be different. It has to be an approach that's different. The second thing is if you just try to sell the thing by itself, you're probably not going to sell a lot. But if you package the thing, for example, there's an MLM company called Visalis, you may know, and they had a huge run back in 2011 and 12. And the reason why their company blew up was because they did something called the 90-day challenge. And it was just 90 days of, just basically getting on and working out every day. And what you bought to start the challenge was their supplement package, right? So in selling supplements, especially as a solopreneur, if you package it inside of some sort of a program that they do, and you make the supplement a part of that program, and you give that program away for free, then you sell tons. But if you just try to sell the supplement alone by itself, you sell little. And that's a rule that I'm absolutely certain about. Okay.
I am so excited.
Cool. I wish I could have wrote more copy, but I'm feeling a little bit rushed because I got a jet to be somewhere at 11:30. Yeah. But both I and Matt are willing to look over your stuff, and I hope that a lot of people got a lot of value from this, and we can have you back on and continue to look at your offer and see how it's going and continue to tweak it, because I think it's a great. There's a lot of great examples also in the comments And it might be useful for you to go into the group and just be like, hey, I'm open to anybody's feedback or anybody's ideas. If you watch the Wake Up Show this morning about, any copy ideas, angle ideas, we're kind of all here to help each other. So, but I hope that was valuable to you, Amanda. I think you got a great, like, anything can be sold if you sell it the right way, right?
Yeah,
so
I just didn't know the missing link.
Yeah, you're good. Let's keep working on it and posting in the Facebook group. I'm happy to help you publicly, and you can also email me. You can email Matt. You can hit me up on Messenger, and then we'll have you back on the show and keep looking at your stuff. Okay?
Well, thank you so much. It was an honor.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, guys, get the hell out of here. I got a jet. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Wake Up Legend.